Oh, say can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous night.
Just to start, I would like to say that there is an open audience question portion at the end of the debate, so if you would like to ask a question, you should start thinking about that now. If you want it to be anonymous, you can write it on a piece of paper and come over here and give it to me or Winley, and we'll read it at the end. And if not, if you're okay with it being known to the world, then you can just ask your question at the end. A couple notes on etiquette. Please don't disrespect the candidates, as it's probably kind of nerve-wracking to wing your answers on the spot in front of a lot of people. Okay, I think that's all I have about etiquette. You should clap for them, if it's a particularly good response. I'm gonna ask you guys. Winley and I have 4 questions prepared, and then you get a minute and 30, max, to answer. I would discourage using the full minute and 30 because lunch is kind of short. You don't have to start answering the question right away. You can take time to think, because I know you want to answer honestly. And before we start, can all the candidates, starting with the vice presidents, please introduce their names and the position they are running for?
Hello, my name is Nicholas Chan.
Please stand up, Nicholas Chan.
And I'm running for junior class vice president.
Hello, my name is Nyla Picott, and I'm running for junior class vice president.
Hi, my name is Alexis Cantley, and I'm running for junior class president.
Hi, my name is Claire Fox, and I'm running for junior class president. Hi, my name is Ella Ross, and I'm running for junior class president.
So 3 for junior class president and 2 for junior class vice president. Let's begin. Winley, would you like to ask the first question? So we're going to ask a question, and all of you guys are going to answer it, and then Winley's just going to decide a random order for you guys to answer it in. It will change it every time, so it's fair.
Okay guys, so first question is, what is the biggest problem your class faces right now, and what are your plans on fixing it? Let's start with Alexis Cantley.
Setting a timer.
Okay, do I need to stand up? Okay, so I think that the biggest problem our class faces is communication, because I feel like we lack kind of communication both within leadership but also within our class, because I don't know about you guys, but sometimes I don't even know when some of our fundraisers are, and so I want to change that by creating a junior class remind. So that way at orientation, juniors sign up for the remind, and then throughout the year we can send messages to make sure that everyone knows when there's restaurant fundraisers, or when we're selling C's or Yankee Candle fundraisers. Thank you.
Thank you, Alexis Cantley. Next is Claire Fox.
I would say it is also the communication. We do have a group chat with all of us on there, but we should try and open it up to the remind that the whole entire school body of our class could use, so that it's not only the leadership students that are on it. So then we could inform all of you. We do post on social media and use School Loop to email, but I agree it would be really nice to be able to text everyone who wants to get involved in all of our fundraisers and everything.
Thank you.
And last but not least, Ella.
I agree, and I also think that one of the major issues is publicity within parents and families, because I feel like if we reached out more to the families that can afford buying more C's candy or Yankee Candle, for example, we can make more profit.
These are going to answer now too. Starting with Nyla.
I agree about communication, and one of my ideas was that we could start a YouTube channel for the junior class specifically, and on there we could put videos about events coming up, whether it's fundraisers, just like information about prom next year, following year.
I feel like our biggest challenge right now is participation. We really need everybody to try their hardest to fundraise because junior prom is going to cost a lot of money.
All right, I'm going to ask the second question now. What's something that you've learned from your time in leadership so far that makes you better qualified for this job? We're going to start with the VPs this time. Nick, start us off! Again!
Can you repeat the question?
Yes. What is something, Nick, that you've learned from your years of leadership so far that makes you a better qualified person for this job? Just tell me something you've learned that's going to make you better in the future.
I've learned that teamwork is crucial to our success. In junior year, there's going to be a lot of stress and problems, and teamwork and communication is going to be crucial to having a great junior year.
Nyla. Yes, and you guys can take your time because you guys are all answering relatively quickly, so you can think through your answers. So the question is, what's something you learned? Like, it can be from anything, from your life, but I'm asking more specifically from leadership, like the time you've been in leadership, that's going to make you better qualified for your job next year.
I've definitely learned that participation and wanting to work hard to get like what you want is super important. And so if you have an idea or something that you want to do, it's important to follow through with it. That makes sense.
It makes sense. Thank you. Do you guys need to hear the question again, or?
No.
Are you good? Okay, let's start with Ella.
Woo! For my year in leadership, I've really learned to take more initiative and step up when I'm challenged in specific opportunities. And I also watched from the outside, like freshman year I wasn't in leadership, so I seen things that I wanted to improve upon, and I think I've done a good job of really reaching out and starting new events. And also when I'm talking to like restaurants and other places, you have to keep asking and keeping with things and not just giving up if they say no.
Claire.
I think cooperation is really important. I've been in leadership in the class committees since freshman year, and each year our committee got along really well, and I feel like we all work together as a good team, and having 6 people that like really cooperate well together got like all of our goals accomplished, and like we've done really nice fundraising, and I feel like working together as a team is really important because it keeps your committee together and keeps you all on task and like all like knowing what to do.
Woo! Woo!
I think that because I've been in Knox class, I've gotten to see 2 junior classes go through and senior classes, so I've gotten to see them plan all the proms and plan all of their events, and I've gotten to see like what things they've made like mistakes on or what they didn't plan as well, so I think that's given me a better idea of like the time management and making sure that everything gets done on time.
Lindley will ask the third question.
Okay, we're gonna start with the president candidates. So the third question is, what is something from your class that you guys want to keep the same? Just anything. Okay, we're gonna start with Claire.
Do you mean a event that's kept the same, or that we could expand on, like just that we want to keep doing, or
Like a way that you work together.
Well, this is something that we haven't done this year yet, but last year my committee and I, we made these like spirit board things during Spiritopia where you dressed up and then took photos in front of it. So like last year the seniors would decorate theirs, and so you got to take photos in front of it. And I feel like that was really cool and like a good way to show spirit for your class when it came to Spiritopia time. And I would like to continue with that because that was really cool and like something different that other classes hadn't come up with before.
I want to continue with the spirit booth that we started this year. It was actually Nyla's idea, and I think it got a lot more people involved because on homecoming day, a lot of people came to school with no orange on, and they really just didn't have any opportunity to go to the store or buy something. And I think that having that in the morning before school was a really good chance for everyone to get spirited, and I think we should continue that.
I think mine's more of a general thing. I just want to keep up the spirit that our sophomore class has because I don't know about you guys, but I feel like we're one of the most spirited classes, and I just think that's really great for like keeping up our energy and making sure that everyone like wants to go to our events because everyone thinks they're going to be super fun, and like homecoming and like the homecoming rally was like incredibly fun because we were constantly cheering and it was amazing.
Okay, so moving on to the VPs, we're going to go with Nyla.
I agree with keeping the spirit because I think that's something that's super important and it kind of like makes people really excited to go to school. But within our committee, right now, we all work really well together and we're all willing to work with each other and we bounce ideas off of each other. And that's definitely something I want to keep because I think that if you work well with the people that you're supposed to be planning big events with, like everything that you do is going to be way more successful.
This is gonna sound kind of weird, but like high stress activities. Because like during homecoming, it's really stressful, but we did get to know each other much more, and I feel like working well with each other is really important.
Nick has a lot of fans in here. Vocal fans, okay. We have one more question, and then we're going to take questions from the audience. So think of some good meaty questions, guys. Meaty questions. All right. The fourth question is, what are the qualities, or the qualities singular, in your competitors that make them good candidates for the job that you want as well? So we're going to do like P's and then VPs separately. So like, as an example, Alexis would say a good thing about Claire and Ella, and Nyla would just say a good thing about Nick. Let's start with VPs. Let's do Nick first, because I just love making Nick go first. All right, Nick.
I think Nyla is a great competitor because she's really open and outspoken. She's not afraid to say what's on her mind, and I feel like that's really important.
I think Nick is a good competitor because he's really willing to do whatever you ask him to, and no, it's a good thing. Like, if you ask him to do something, he'll get it done right away. And that some people, it's just like, oh yeah, I'll do that for you, and then like 5 years later, you're just like, hey, never did.
Thank you. Okay, moving on to the presidents. Let's do Ella first.
Something good about Claire is that she's really easy to work with, and if she gets upset, like she won't show it, but she'll make sure that like everything gets done the way that it needs to be. And something really good about Alexis is that she's really focused on her schoolwork, and she gets everything done.
Thank you.
A good thing about Ella is that she has a very creative mind and she's always bringing in like new ideas for our committee and like different ways that we could fundraise, and like she thinks like very broadly. And Alexis is very driven. Like when she is doing something, she always makes sure to like finish it and be on task.
Claire always has a positive attitude, and even like when someone's feeling down, she always makes sure that like things are gonna get done, but that everyone's also gonna stay happy. And something about Ella is that she's super creative, and like she always is open to new ideas, and like she always creates new things that people haven't thought of before.
Thank you. Okay, that was our last question. Do we have any questions from the audience? Please be respectful of our candidates. Michael, I saw your hand first.
All right.
Would you like the microphone?
No, I'm all right. Okay. All right. So, what is your greatest leadership attribute? But it has to be one that begins with the first letter of your name.
Okay, we're gonna start with. Let's start with Alexis Camp. You may take a moment to think. This is a very difficult question.
It's up to your best. It's just one of your leadership qualities.
Wait, an event or like a quality
A
about
quality about you, and it has to begin with the first letter of your name.
Okay.
You can wing this. All right, I'm gonna give you 20 more seconds to think.
I'm gonna say appreciate, because I think that like whatever goes on, I'm always like appreciative of like what everyone else in my committee does. Like, especially I know I'm not in class committee this year, but like within diversity of like whenever someone like creates something new, I'm always making sure that they're like feeling appreciated and like open to everything that they do.
Claire's going next.
My quality would be cooperative, because I feel like it's really important to cooperate with your committee, and I feel like I do that pretty well.
I would say embrace, because I like to embrace new ideas and bring new things into our class committee and create new events and make sure that they happen, and it's not just an idea, but something that actually gets carried out.
Thank you. Mila.
I would say neat, because I'm really organized, and I think that they mean the same thing. And I think that organization is key in order to host successful events.
I would say I'm nice, I guess. I hope I'm not. I'm appreciative towards everybody's opinions and what they have to say.
Are there more questions from the audience? Kyla?
Do you plan to change the committee next year? And if you do, what would you like to change about it?
When you say change, like what?
Do you like wanna like do other things or like change different like things that we do and like make it something different? Like, for instance, cooperate more, or I don't know, like do
So like
other
something we
stuff.
can improve on?
Yeah, or like if you want to, different things.
If you have new answers.
I mean,
Okay. Yeah, then Natalie can start.
So we've kind of already gone over the importance of fundraising, especially for the next 2 years with prom and then senior banquet, and senior picnic, and everything else. And so I definitely feel like our committee could be more organized in coming up with fundraising events and just communicating with restaurants and maybe coming up with more like ideas for how we could fundraise, and then include the entire school and getting parents involved as well.
You may abstain if you feel like you don't.
I abstain.
I think that we can be more organized, and the way that we meet, we should like sit down and have more like organized meetings than we do now. And I think that that'll help us reaching out to like people that reach out to parents like Miss Greger and sending out robocalls and things like that.
As we kind of said earlier, I feel like the communication is a big point, and we should expand on that and improve. And I feel like making the class remind would be really good to like get the point across to everyone, because publicizing is a really important part of getting people there. So communication and publicizing.
Nyla, wait, hold on, Alexis. Hold on. Nyla wants to add something.
Okay, wait. Just talking about communication, I feel like something else we could change is definitely getting more outside opinions, because in leadership, sometimes it's hard to tell how people are responding to events we put on. And so if we had a way, or we found a way to get more outside opinions or just ideas, whether or not it's about fundraising or like something that we could do for a dance or just an event for the class of 2020, that would like...
Adding on to what Nyla says, as a way to like get more people's outside opinions, I think that we should have like polls within like the history classes to see like for prom next year, to see like what people want, because I know that like sometimes you go to prom and then you're like, well, there's nothing that I really want here, and so I want to change like and have people like submit ideas so that way we can include everyone's opinions.
Okay, other questions from the audience? Adam, he doesn't need a mic. We're not answering that question, thanks. Okay, other questions? Julia.
In what ways have you taken responsibility for failure and how have you resolved it?
I'm gonna. I'll give you the mic in case they want to hear that one again.
In what ways have you taken responsibility in a failure and how have you resolved it? Leadership or just in general? In leadership.
Julia, why don't you take these starts? I'll do it.
Does it have to be in person?
Let's start with Claire.
Okay. Wait, can you repeat the question one more time? Sorry.
Okay. In what ways have you taken responsibility for a failure and how have you resolved it?
Okay. I think that would be related to the hot chocolate selling this year that we did at your house. There was that communication like thing that we needed about the chaperone. So we had like the same chaperone as the seniors, and then that ended up not working out for us because we needed like a full-time like teacher, and we weren't like aware of that, and then so we resolved it by like, I don't know, we like shut down for the moment, but then we kept selling as like a separate like fundraiser organization as like our committee. I mean, not as our committee, it was just like us, like as friends selling there. So it ended up working out. And then afterwards, we talked to like Mr. Itherburn and Cobb and like went over the rules of like the selling for next time. So we talked about how to get the chaperone and like that it has to be full time, and we worked that out for next year or like anytime this year.
Wait, actually, let's go to Alexis.
Okay, well, in diversity, we had a breast cancer trivia game, and so we went to 3 different Starbucks on the island, and we asked for donations, and they told us all that we would have donations, and so the night before I went to go pick up the donations, and the people there didn't know that we had donations, so I resolved that because like, I mean, they ended up donating to us anyways, but like for the future, we worked on like making sure that we confirmed, like triple confirmed with them and made sure that like the manager was gonna be there on the day we were gonna pick up, so that way this wouldn't happen again.
I think one way I dealt with failure is when we had our first fundraiser of the year, which was Bowser's. You probably don't know about that because we only made $10. And I think that I came back from that because the next fundraiser we had was Lola's, and I really pushed to publicize that, and we actually came back and made close to $300. So I think that was,
Nyla.
And I also think that our committee right now is really good at looking at a situation where we could have done better and then going and taking a break from it and communicating and talking about what we did wrong and then going to fix it. So like with the hot chocolate thing that happened at your house, afterwards we as a committee sat down and talked about what we could do better, and now next year we know and we have a solid plan of what we're planning to do and to make it a more successful night. And then also, I don't know, some of you may recall float building. It was an exciting time, but it was also really stressful, especially for us in the committee. And every single night we'd go home and we'd just talk about what went wrong and like figure out rules on how to fix it so people would cooperate more. And
During freshman year, I was supposed to get donations for our back to school sale, or back to school night sale, and that really didn't fall through. I thought I had the donations, but I really didn't. So I had to buy the cookies myself. But after that, I made sure I had written confirmation before I actually got the donations.
Okay, so we have about five minutes of the period left, so I'm going to take one more question. I'm taking it from Astrid because I just saw her here. I'm sorry, whoever you are. Sorry, that wasn't meant to be offensive.
You all talk about the importance of fundraising, so what are your ideas for fundraising for next year?
Good question. Let's start with Nyla.
oh wait, can I take a minute to think?
You may take a moment. You may take a few moments.
Oh, right. So, in my English class, I have Miss Runish, and one of the days we devoted like almost an entire period talking about these community service work days that her high school used to have. And we were talking about how in order to get everyone involved in fundraising, so it feels like when we have prom or when we're having a dance, they've put work in too and they appreciate it more. We could have days where everybody goes out, everybody could like sign up to go out, and around the Alameda community just ask if somebody needs help, and then in return have money that they are basically giving to our class. And then it could be like not specifically just the junior class that's doing it, but it could be all the classes, and then we could split up the money equally so we're all putting in work and coming together as a school rather than it just being like, oh hi.
I feel you. We have not much time left. Nick.
I feel like that instead of like maybe creating new fundraisers, we should have more like restaurant nights. I feel like we need more fundraisers, not just like one really good one. So next year, I hope that we get a lot of restaurant nights.
Okay, Ella.
I would like to have like a big movie night at Thompson where we project like the showing of a movie, and we have like popcorn sales and hot chocolate sales, and it's like a fee to get in, and it'll be a really good school bonding activity as well as class, and you can all bring your own blanket and we can all sit on the field together for a couple hours and have a really good time together, and yeah.
I agree with what Nick said. The idea of like having the many like small restaurant nights are really good, and if we get a lot of attendance, that's like easy money if you guys just go and eat, and it's really easy for us to organize. But if we were to do something like the movie night, it's a fantastic idea, but those are hard to put on. So we really need your guys' attendance to come to our restaurant nights, and those are really successful. And also I'd like to do more online fundraisers, like how we do the Yankee candle sales and the Seas candy. There's also more online for like candy, like during Halloween time or something. We could use more online websites like those because those are, again, like really easy.
I think that we should go for quality over quantity with the restaurant nights, because I feel like if we have a bunch of restaurant nights and people don't, if you have a bunch of them, like maybe you have like 2 a month, then you may be having these fundraisers twice a month, but you might not get the same attendance as if you had like focus. Like when we had our Lola's fundraiser, I know that like a lot of people went during lunch, after school, like for dinner, and I feel like that was a really good fundraiser because we worked on like just putting all of our effort into like one fundraiser. And so I feel like it's better to have quality over quantity. And also I wanted to have like, I know the senior class had one this year, but have like a car wash, because I know a lot of us are starting to drive, and so I feel like people would want to have their car washed. Yeah.
The bell rings in a minute, so what do you guys want to say? Yeah, this is a debate, so be my guest.
About the car wash, have you done any research or anything on how much the seniors made? Because it's a lot of manpower, and like you have to have a lot of people going there, and it might not make as much money as it would at the restaurant nights. So like how much?
Well, I'm not exactly sure how much the seniors made, but I did go to the car wash myself, and I know that there was a lot of people there, and it was held throughout the day, and most of the leadership kids donated their time, and they had shifts. So I feel like even though it is a lot of manpower, like if people are dedicated and want to put in the work to make sure that like we raise money, then that'd be good. And also they sold food, so it wasn't just car washes, they also sold food to make money.
Okay, quickly before we have other comments, I just want to say voting for these people to determine who wins is going to be from the 8th to the 15th. There will be a link on Scoop, so you should go into Scoop and click it, and there will be directions for how to log in, and you should vote. Now I'll let you go.
I just want to add to like the movie nights, it not only doubles as an event that will bring all of our class together and our school together, it'll double as a fundraiser.
Also, when the bell rings, make sure you clean up everything you brought in.
And by the way, the voting is on Thursday.